Peter Fallon received a copy of that letter as an attachment to an email in the third week of September. He would not have read it, except that it came from Diana Wilmington, an assistant professor at the George Washington University and author of a controversial new book, The Racism and Resolve of Abraham Lincoln. The book had gotten her onto television, radio, magazine covers, and made her one of the most recognizable African American scholars in the country. Peter had also dated her when she was an assistant professor at the University of Massachusetts. "I've been thinking of you," she wrote. "I still read the Boston gossip pages. How could I not, after the gossip we inspired? So that bit about you and Evangeline caught my eye. Not getting married, but still having a reception. Genius." Yes, thought Peter. Genius. The hall had been rented, and the champagne was cold. It was a great party. As for the decision not to get married, he was not so sure. He took a sip of wine and kept reading. "I really liked Evangeline. I thought she was good for you." True. Peter couldn't remember which of them first said, "If it works, don't fix it." But now Evangeline was prepping a new project in New York, and Peter was guest curating a new exhibit in Boston. "However," Diana went on, "I'm not writing about your love life. I'd like you to take a look at this attachment." Peter clicked on the scanned image of a letter. He glanced first at the header, printed in an Old English typeface, Executive Mansion. Beneath it was the word Washington, the date April 14, 1865, and to the side the word Private, handwritten and circled. Then Peter's eye dropped to the signature, to the clear and characteristic cursive that was the holy grail of autograph collectors everywhere. A. Lincoln. In an instant, he knew that whatever this was, it was worth 7 figures. A Lincoln signature on a Lincoln letter written from the Lincoln White House. Then he looked again at the date and felt a chill. The day Lincoln was shot. He wiped the sweat from his palms as if he were touching the original instead of seeing it on a computer screen. He almost went looking for white cotton curatorial gloves. Could this be Lincoln's last letter? A last insight into the most analyzed, adulated, biographied, beloved, and in a few places detested man in American history? And what did this anonymous lieutenant have that mattered so much at the end of the Civil War? Peter clicked again on the email. "I held this letter in my hands a week ago. A man was offering it for sale to the American Museum of Emancipation. I told him that we were a small museum, hoping to consolidate with the Smithsonian National Museum of African American History and Culture when it opens in 2015, but that I would talk to our board. When I tried to contact him 2 days ago, he had gone incommunicado. I'd been planning to ask you to appraise the letter. Would you be willing to put your skills to finding it, or at least uncovering the story behind it?" Peter lifted the wine bottle. One more tip of the glass would bring him to the bottom of the label. When he drank alone, something he'd been doing more since the wedding that wasn't, he had a rule: drink to the bottom of the label and no farther. Stopper the bottle, and every few nights finish the high-quality dregs. So he poured a bit more, swirled, and sipped. Then he wrote back. The last big Lincoln letter to come on the market was his answer to the so-called Little People's Petition. It went for $3.2 million in 2009. That's where the bidding starts on this, if it's authentic. So call me. I'm up until midnight. Then he drank the wine with a little wedge of Epoisse, a big cab with the big cheese, an excellent nightcap. And NESN was nightcapping an excellent Red Sox game, which he missed because he had been working on a new exhibit for the Boston Public Library, A Northern City and the Civil War. It was opening on September 22nd, the 150th anniversary of the day Lincoln announced the Emancipation Proclamation. The Leventhal Center was providing battle maps. Rare Books was delivering journals and photos from the famed 20th Regiment collection.